Hello and welcome to MatchBetting101.com's YouTube channel. This is a little introduction video for anyone who's looking to get into match betting. It's just going to be a straightforward introduction to it, what it's about, and to show you how to place your first ever match bet. First of all, what is match betting? Well, first of all, most important thing to bear in mind is that it is not betting. Okay, it is not gambling, and it is not a method of trying to make money with a high risk of losing it, especially if you back certain football teams. I bet you Chelsea fans are in a great state this season. What it is a means of exploiting the offers put out by bookies. You can see one here, for example, and there's a few other dotted about. By using the free bets that they offer to guarantee yourself a fixed return on a sporting event, regardless of the actual outcome. Okay, so whether you win or lose, you will still make money. What it is broken down into the most basic of offers is broken down into two stages. I mean, this is a fairly typical offer. You bet 20 quid on a football match, and then the bookies give you a free £10 bet. Okay, the first bet is what's known as a qualifier bet. This is a normal sports bet where you place it, you follow the terms and conditions, and then the bookies give you a free bet. And then we have the free bet, which is this one here, when the bookie says, thank you for your custom, here, have this and keep on coming back to us and losing all your money. It's a bit like a supermarket enticing you in with buy one get one free deals and all that sort of stuff. It's a means of keeping you coming back as a punter, because the bookie market is actually fairly competitive, and with every month there are new bookies setting up business, and they're all going to vie against each other. It's a bit of a dodgy, bit of a risky business, but hey, that's what works for you. Anyway, so let's begin with Coral. So Coral are a pretty common high street bookie. You've probably seen them around in most towns in the UK, and I'm not sure if they've got much of a presence in Ireland. Not been there, maybe somebody can fill me in. So first thing to do is to click the Join Now button, I should say, and follow it through and sign up. Now, just as a note, you wouldn't have seen this on the first page, because occasionally they do different promotional offers when big name sports events are on, but we're not concerned about that at the moment. What we're looking at with Coral is this offer here: bet £5 and get 20 quid free. So what they're saying is that by placing a £5 bet with them at minimum odds, the terms and conditions are somewhere, it's usually around about 1.5, they will give you a free bet of 20 quid. Okay? Now, normal punter could be a simple case of losing 5 quid and then maybe winning on the 20 quid bet, or just losing both and just then being 5 quid out of pocket. But the bookie doesn't really care, because they've got their custom. For us, what this is a small cost of, say, 50p to make somewhere in the region of £13 to £15. Okay, so how does it work? So sign up for your account, follow it through, and then make a deposit with them for, say, £10, £15. So when you've done that, the next step is then to pop over to a website called smarkets.com. You can find a link in the video below to both this one. I won't link you to Coral, because that's another reason entirely. And a betting exchange is the tool we will be using in order to guarantee ourselves a return. But we'll go into that in a few minutes. So sign up here, use the sign up now button, that one there, and fill in your details, do whatever it needs to ask, and if you put 50 to 100 quid in there, that will cover you to make this money. Now, just as a word of note, I know a lot of people look at this and they use it as a means of getting themselves financially sorted. That makes complete sense. It's what I'm doing. It's what pretty much every Tom, Dick and Harry's doing. Although for some people, they just use it as a sort of a spare means of making cash. I know a couple of guys who basically live off of this, which I have to admit is actually pretty impressive. But hey, a job isn't the only way of making money in this world. Anyway, so let's work our way through the stages then. So we've signed up with Coral, we've popped 10 quid in there. we signed up with Smarkets, and let's say we put 100 quid in there, so we're good to cover all things. So the first thing we have to do is we have to do our qualifying bet. Now this is a offer where you get £5, place a £5 bet to then get a free 20 quid bet. So what we'll do is we'll look for a big sporting event. So in about 20 minutes time, West Ham are kicking off against, I think it's Sunderland. Where are you? Ah, here we go. So here we go. We've got West Ham versus Sunderland. Now, usually you're best off putting your bets onto big name sporting events because they're fairly common. It's expected. So what we'll do is we'll take West Ham. So we'll click on West Ham. That's now added it to our bet slip. Okay. So this is our bet slip. Now we have a look at West Ham versus Sunderland on the exchange. Here we go. Right, so we can see that the odds on the exchange are different to those of the bookies. Okay, so how do we work out what we're going to do? Okay, thankfully there is a fantastic little website called trickybet.net. Now this is a site which is based around match betting and helping you work out what you need to do. So the first thing we need to do is we need to place our qualifier bets. Now the qualifier bet is the bet which releases the free bet. So in this case, like I say, we're going to take West Ham, and then we're going to do the alternative part, do the other part here on the exchange. So first thing we need to do is we put our bet in the box here. So we're going for £5. Now the back odds are the odds offered by the bookie. Okay, these are the odds that we are betting with in order if we get a win. So we're backing West Ham to win at the bookie. So if West Ham win and we put our £5 here, if they win we'll get £9, £25p back in the bookies. If they lose, the bookie gets our £5. Nice and straightforward. Okay, so we flip back to the calculator and we put the back odds in here of 1.85. Okay, hope you're with me so far. Hope this is not too confusing. Right, then the next thing we do is the part where the exchange comes into play. Now, with the exchange, this is almost a bit like a trading platform, whereby you can back a bet. So you can back a selection. So in this case, West Ham is in the green column here, and this means that we are putting money down for West Ham to win. But there is also something here we can do which you can't do on the bookies' conventional websites, which is where you can lay a selection, and this means that you're basically saying it won't win. A good example of this is, say you're down the pub with your mates, you're with your mate Dave, you'll hear a lot about him later, we like Dave, and you say to Dave says to you, I bet you 10 quid that West Ham will win, and you say, alright, I'll take that bet. When you do that, you are being the bookie. You are basically saying to Dave, right, okay, if West Ham win, I will pay you the £10 because you got it right. But if West Ham United don't win, so if it's a draw or Sunderland win, then you keep Dave's £10. Okay? And that's what laying the bet is. Laying the bet is basically saying, I bet that your selection doesn't happen, and these, they're represented in the blue column, are the odds that you are offering that you will pay out if it does happen. So in this case, Dave would pay his £10, and then if Dave won, you would pay him £8.88 or £8.90, doesn't really matter, in his winnings. And if Dave is wrong, you take his £10 and it's your turn to buy the drinks. Simple as. So what we do here then is we look at the exchange, I'm not blathering too much, and we can see here that West Ham have lay odds of 1.89. Okay, so what we then do is we then go back to the calculator and we replace the 2 here with the 1.89. You can see I do a lot with all the random numbers that keep on popping up. Okay, so that's our bet in place, our back odds in place at Coral, the bookies, and then our lay odds at the exchange. Okay, now the next thing to do is to set what the exchange's commission is. Basically, if we go back to you and Dave, let's say Dave wanted some security over his 10 quid. Okay, Dave likes you, but he's a little bit worried that you're just going to take the 10 quid and run and just tell him to stick it. This is where the pub landlord comes in. The pub landlord says, all right, boys, keep it all nice and fair. You guys give me the tenner, I'll hold on to it, and then we'll deal with it once the bet's finished. This is what the exchange does. It holds the money on behalf of both parties involved in the bet, and keeps it on hand for them. Nice and straightforward. Okay, so, but as the exchanges are a business, what they do is they charge a commission. In this case, Smarkets is 2%. Basically, what it means is if you place a bet to win, they'll take a 2% cut of your winnings. If you lay against a bet, they'll take a 2% cut of the stake. And we need to factor this into the calculation, so we put it in here, a commission of 2%. There are other betting exchanges, Betfair, BetDAQ, I think Ladbrokes runs an exchange, and there's Matchbook as well, which has been coming on quite well, but anyway, we'll do that another time. And they all have varying rates of commission, and some are better than others. It doesn't really matter. But in this case, Smarkets 2%. Okay, so that's our calculation set up. So then we press click, calculate, refresh. Okay, so now we go over to Coral, we put in our £5, we log in, and we place the bet. Bang, done. That's the back bet done. So then we pop over to our calculator, and you can see here it's telling us to lay £4.95 at odds of 1.89. So we pop over to the exchange, we click on the box, and we type in our £4.89. Now you'll see here the return. So what this is basically the bookie takes your £4.89 out of your cash and holds it for you. And if West Ham don't win, so it's a draw or Sunderland, you get back £9.24 into your exchange account. Obviously, there's an adjustment for the commission. And the liability is how much you stand to lose. Well, your betting exchange account stands to lose if West Ham do win. The best thing to do is always to go back to your calculator and check to make sure that agrees. So the liability on this bet should be £4.41. It's £4.35. But there's always a slight variance due to percentages and so forth when you're doing it. A few pence does not matter. Okay, so then once that's worked out, you then place the bet, and that's all set. The next thing to do is just wait for the West Ham match to finish, and then we're ready to do the next step. So, now pop off for a cup of tea, cup of coffee, down the pub, walk the bike, whatever, just chill. Okay, so let's say 90 minutes plus 50 minutes half time and 20 minutes due to footballers fanning around like a bunch of Nancy boys. And now we're ready to do the free bet. Okay, now the free bet is a slightly different way of doing things. So let's go into this. So you go back to your Coral account, and let's look for a football match. Basically, you want to use something here that's higher odds. So let's say the football's finished, and let's take the Leicester versus Norwich match. Qualifiers usually best done at lower odds. Free bets usually done at best around about 4 to 6. And once again, on matches, big sporting events, just to keep the bookie nice and happy. So what will happen now is you've logged in and the bet will finish, and Coral would be very nice and say, here, you've got a 20 quid free bet. So what you do is you choose your match. So let's take Leicester versus Norwich. Let's just find them on here as well. No, it helps if I can spell. There we go, Leicester versus Norwich. I have to admit, I would have expected Leicester to have better odds than this, but hey, that doesn't matter. So we're going to go with a draw because this is a very nice close match between the bookie and exchange. So it's 4.2 to back and 4.3 to lay, which is quite nice. So what we do is we go over here and we type in 20 quid. Now, once we've got the free bet, there will be a little box below here asking us to choose, offering us the opportunity to choose what we want to place the free bet on. So you click on the little arrow and you select the free bet. And it just follows through. When you're doing it's actually quite nice and straightforward. It just takes a little bit getting used to. Okay, so we place the free bet, Oh, so we set it up, and then what we do here is we now work out what the lay is going to be and what our profit will possibly be. So we have to change our bet type to a free bet stake not return. The stake not return basically means that if the free bet wins with the bookie only gives you the winnings. They don't give you the £20 free bet. So it's essentially it's a bet without spending money, but you don't get that money back. So what we're doing is we're exploiting that free bet to guarantee a lock-in on the free bet. Okay. Now, occasionally you will have stake return, but they're very, 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 very rare, and I don't think I've ever actually come across one of them myself, personally. I dare say some other people have, but I haven't. So we change it to free bet SNR. Make sure you do this first, otherwise it's going to go tits up. And you then stand to lose money rather than actually make money. So, free bet SNR. Our bet stake is 20 quid because that's the amount that Coral are offering us. Now, we are backing at the bookies, shown here, for the draw, which we know is odds of 4.2. So in the back odds box, we set the odds to 4.2. Then we look at the exchange, and thankfully it hasn't changed, and we set the odds to 4.3. There we go, and we leave the exchange commission the same as it is, and then we click calculate refresh to work out how much we stand to make from this free bet. So we can see from this free bet we will make a profit of just over £14.50p. I say about £14.50p because there's always a few variants of pence, it's never exact. So that's a pretty decent return. It's just under 75%, and it's 15 quid you're making for doing pretty much not much more than just, as I am now, sitting on my sofa and just idling away. So we place the bet at the bookie, 20 quid. Make sure you got the free bet selected. I know it's not there now, but you'll see it when it's there. And then place the bet. Bam! That's the back bet done. Then next step is once again to go to the exchange, look at the calculation, and we can see here we've got to lay £14.95. So we click on here, type in our £14.95, and what the bookie exchange will do is we'll hold our £49.32 just until the event is over. And you can see here that if the match is any result other than a draw, we will get back our £64.27, which is the £49.32 plus the £14.95. And this is where we make our money. Basically, the calculator works it out so that the return you get at the bookie or the return at the exchange guarantees you 15 quid. So, for example, if we go here, you can see the stake is £20, but if you take that out, you would get, so with the free bet, you would minus £20 from it, because the return is without the free bet. So you get £64 in the Coral account if the match resulted in a draw. Okay, but if the match resulted in a draw, you would pay out £49.32 from the betting exchange. So if it's a draw, you've got £64 in Coral, and you're down 50 quid in the exchange. This means you've made £14 worth of profit there. It's a bit more than that, but I'm just rounding. However, if the result is a draw, so the result is a draw, you've got 64 in the bookies, and you're down 50 quid in the exchange. 14 quid profit. If the result isn't a draw, you lose nothing to the bookie because you haven't spent anything. The 20 quid free bet was never your money in the first place, but you've then gained the £14.95 less the 2% commission in the exchange. So either result, you are just under 15 quid up. It's not bad, really, for 10 minutes bit of work, nipping off for a cup of tea, and just getting on with things. So that's that. So once again, as always, check the liability agrees to within a few pence of the calculator. It's just 1p out this time around. And then click place bet, and then you're ready to go. Just let Leicester play against Norwich, see what happens, and then just see where the money ends up. And you'll see that you've easily made £15 just from sitting down and taking it easy. Hopefully that's been a relatively clear, or hopefully, a nice easy introduction as to how match betting works. If you've got any questions, just pop a comment in the box below and someone will get back to you. If not, come and join the Facebook group. There's plenty of advice there. And take a look at the website, www.matchbetting101.com. Plenty of advice and stuff on there. And best of all, it's all free. Doesn't cost you a penny. Right, cheerio, take care. Arrivederci.